Hi, welcome to MikiCarrBeauty. I'm Miki, and on my channel I love to talk about luxury skincare and beauty. And today I will be doing my wear test and a review of the Chanel SUBLIMAGE Le Correcteur Yeux, the under eye concealer that came out pretty recently. And I ended up getting it in the shade 40. If you can see that. I ended up getting it in the shade 40, and this is the packaging. And I ended up buying this through the Chanel website, and this is what the packaging looks like. It comes with a little brush, looks like this, with the Chanel logo. And I actually have used this. It actually, some people have not liked this, but I really like this brush actually. I think I like it better for this product more than a sponge and a finger, which I've used. So if you're interested in that review and finding out some comparisons to other concealers I have, if there's a possible dupe, I do have one that actually I recommend more than this, and then a wear test of how it's been best worn for me with oily aging skin and wrinkles. I have eczema and rosacea. If you're interested in how for an oily skin, and if you're interested to know how this product works best for me, then keep watching. And before we continue, please remember to subscribe to MikiCarrBeauty and go ahead and like the video. It helps me out, and please feel free to comment and like below. And so let's get started. New Chanel Sublimage Under Eye Concealer. And I ended up picking this up this past week, and I was still on the fence of whether or not to get it. So I have seen reviews of this, so it's definitely, I have some kind of preconceived notions of it. And the reason why I kind of paused on buying it, the biggest reason, is that it has a limited shade range. So I actually have Chanel on my face. I'll tell you what I have on my face today. For primer, I have the Tatcha Liquid Silk Canvas as my primer, and then I have my favorite Chanel foundation, and this is the Chanel Ultra Le Temps. This is the Ultra Wear All Day Comfort Flawless Finish Foundation, and it's in the color BD51. And I found this is probably the closest shade match for me, which I tend to be either an olive or warm undertone, and you can see with the BD that is the warm undertone. And then I also, for highlight, I have, and this is a little bit disappointing, I've only had this for like 6 months, maybe more than 6 months, this Chanel highlighter, and the letters are coming off the packaging, which is so weird. I got this last year. This is the liquid highlighter in Au Ivoire. It was part of the release from the holiday collection. I do have that as the high points of my face. And then I powder down with Sisley Matte 2. And then I have the Danessa Myricks Contour Medium 2. And then bronzer in the Le Beige Oversize Healthy Glow Sun-Kissed Bath Powder in Sun Bath Deep. And this is probably one of my favorite bronzers from last year. So my base and my face are done, and the only thing left is the concealer. And I don't have lipstick on, I don't have eyeshadow on. I did prime my eyelids, but we're gonna try this today. So knowing that I'm BD51, I run warm, they didn't have any I don't think they had any BD 50 or 51. On their webpage, I'm looking, they have a limited number of shades. They have 10 shades of this under eye concealer, and it goes from 2, 10, 20, 30, 32, 40, and there's a huge jump between 40 and 70. I don't know if you can see that. And I was just hoping, like, come on guys, like at least put something in between 40 and 70. So I know 70 is going to be too deep for me, and then 40 is too light, but it's going to be less of a difference. I usually like it to be a brightening underneath my eyes anyway, so we'll see. And then reading from the website, this product is a creamy and lightweight. This is exceptionally hydrating concealer, melts into skin and immediately illuminates the look of the eye area. Over time, skin feels comfortable and 27% more moisturized with a plump and 67% more rested appearance. The formula reduces the look of dark circles by 39% and smooths the appearance of fine lines without creasing, all while caring for the delicate eye contour. Available in 10 shades that offer a luminous finish. Okay, so we're looking for a luminous finish and buildable coverage for a sublime appearance instantly and throughout the day. Okay, and this corrector is infused with intense vanilla planifolia water. That's kind of like their signature thing over their technology. Extracted from vanilla planifolia beans from Madagascar. This antioxidant rich ingredient helps maintain skin quality and protect the fragile eye area from oxidative stress caused by external aggressors. Cedar extract helps reduce the appearance of dark circles, while light reflecting particles enhance radiance and create an even makeup result. I actually ended up getting this through the Chanel website. I usually go through my Nordstrom essay, but I don't think they had this product at this time. So what I'm going to do is just show you what the packaging looks like. It's about how many ounces? 0.35 ounces. Beautiful jar. It comes in this beautiful box. I ended up getting it with a beautiful packaging. Chanel and Dior have like the best packaging, including Guerlain too, but Chanel packaging, you get the little flower here, the camellia, and I got some samples. Also came with this SUBLIMAGE Le Correcteur, is this paddle scoop to scoop out the product, and then this little foundation application brush, which is like this. What I will do, I will try using it as they say with one side of the eye and then doing it a different way on the others. And for today, I am not going to use any corrector, which if you're not new to my channel, you know that I kind of have a way I do it. The way I do my concealer is usually this. I dab some of this Chanel Gel Yeux underneath because my eyes tend to be a little bit dry. And this gel just ends up like being really great as a priming step for my concealers. And then I usually use a corrector. I usually use one or two correctors. I've been using the Live Tinted Color and Balance. It's very orange, so it kind of gets rid of dark circles. And then I put my concealer on, and depending on the concealer, I will powder it. But for today's wear test, and this could be a dodgy proposition, but I am actually going into work. I'm gonna have a full day and I'll do check-in. So what I'm gonna do is put this on, but not powder it, and we'll see, because I've seen reviews where other women around my age range, they're just putting it on and not putting powder in, because sometimes depending on your age and your wrinkles, adding powder actually causes there to be a look of more wrinkles. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to put this on today and test it out. Okay, so this is what the product looks like. It's very light. I know that some people were kind of complaining about this mechanism, that it's very messy. So I'm actually going to put this down because I don't want to get my blouse dirty, because this is what I'm wearing into the office today. So it's got this top, and that is what the product looks like. Come on, focus. That is what the product looks like, and it has this top. And there's plenty of product on this top. So what I'm going to do is lay it down. I'm going to do a little swatch for you on my hand with this paddle. So I'm taking the paddle and just taking a small amount. Okay, so that is the tiniest amount. And then I'm going to spread it so you can see. This is very creamy, very pigmented. I can see a little bit it's going to go a long way already. That is pretty light. So I'm a little concerned I'm going to look like I have raccoon eyes, but we'll see. While I have this out, why don't I do some swatches? This is LM14 and Pat McGrath. And that has more of a yellow undertone. And for me, this LM14 is like my perfect under eye concealer color. This is the closest concealer for me to get in NARS, the color Ginger. LM11, which I use for brightening. I sometimes cocktail the LM14 with LM11. And you can see it's closest to this, but there's still like, there's still more coverage with this. There's a bit more yellow, and this is more of like a pink undertone. And that's why I was disappointed with Chanel not coming out with more colors and undertones, because my undertone is warm. And so this is definitely more of a pink neutral, if you can tell. This is the Kulfi concealer in Extra Elachi. Okay, and again, you can see it's like, there's still a bit more yellow, but it's a little bit more neutral. My Sisley concealer in 04, and this squirts out, so I'm going to be very careful. Okay, so that is 04 in Sisley again. It has like a nice yellowish undertone. And what I find with this is that sometimes I don't have to like with these ones that run more yellow, I do not have to put often, what do you call it, like a corrector underneath. Okay, so the last two are the older formula, Dior Forever Skin Correct, and this is in the color, I believe, 3 Warm Olive. Definitely more olive undertone, warm olive compared to the Chanel in 40. And then grabbing my Kosas concealer in 6.2N. And again, that has more of a peachy yellow undertone. Okay, so out of all my concealers, this Chanel is like the whitest, which is makes me a little nervous, but we'll see. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is grab some of this Sublimage Yeux, and it says put at the back of your hand. Okay, just a little bit more. And then I'm going to do what they say, which is grab this little brush and then start working it product into the eye area. And you can see, like, I didn't put any corrector. This is what my eyes look like. They have dark circles. I have aging skin. And that was a little bit, okay? So it's not bad. My also problem area is here because I put eyelids, it tends to crinkle here. I guess it's like maybe my version of crow's feet. Is that what they're called? Okay, so that is the side with Chanel 40 and without. Not bad. Let me zoom out so you can see what it looks like, and then I'll do a zoom in again. So this side is with the Chanel and without. And I'm wondering if I can just build under here where it's dark. Do you see that part? So I'm just using that brush again and then going into where it's the darkest. Maybe a little bit on the edge here. Okay, I'm just using my finger to blend it in so it's not so obvious. Okay, it's better than I thought it would be, but it's like not like the best. Like for me, my holy grail under eye concealer is the Pat McGrath, just because it has the right shade. It's got really like a full opacity, and when on days when I'm having like not a lot of sleep or just have really dark circles, the Pat McGrath is what I grab, the LM11 and then LM14. Okay, so I use usually that jumbo concealer from Sonia G. I would say this is pretty soft. It's not bad. I mean, I might use this actually. It's like, I think it's actually softer than that Sonia G, which is nice. I think it's because it's synthetic. Okay, concealer, once again, not a whole lot. And that's like, it's a small amount of concealer, but a little goes a long way. So I think people were complaining about the mechanism, so I can see why they don't like it. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put that in like this way. I'm concentrating most of it there, because that's where I get my dark circles. So just grabbing the clean side of a beauty blender and just working that in. Okay, doesn't look as good with the beauty blender. It actually looks more patchy. So what I'm gonna do is actually go back to the brush, grab a little more, but then dab it here, and then go in with the brush. And I know I said I was going to try 2 different ways, but I just showed you that that beauty blender was not working. Okay, so that is both sides. And usually sometimes any leftover I have, I go into the parts where I have discoloration, just kind of like to brighten up the area. Okay, so that is what it looks like. It feels good. I don't really smell a scent. Like the Chanel classic scent is like that vanilla scent. I don't smell it with this product. I know it's in there, but yeah, I don't smell it. I mean, with the foundation, I definitely feel it. So you can definitely see my bag still. So I don't think this is like color correcting, at least for me. I need something a little bit more yellow. So if I were to use this again, I would definitely use color corrector. So, okay. So from far away, it looks okay. Okay, so I put that component back on and I can see why people are complaining. So I was really careful, but there was like some stuff, I don't know if you can see it, some extra product kind of just shot up. This is the thing about this packaging. It's like all this is wasted. So let me see if I can get it back in the package. It's similar to what they have for Suku, their cream foundation, and also Chantecaille has their Future Gel Skin foundation. It has that same top mechanism to keep it fresh. It's fussy, and I can imagine if I'm in a hurry, I might not grab for that, but we'll continue on. You know what, I'm really curious. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna powder down one side and see what happens. I'm gonna grab my Pat McGrath yellow one. Sorry, this is in the color yellow. And I'm grabbing the yellow one because this is what I would normally use as my under eye powder. And I'm grabbing yellow because it actually, with the yellow, it has like some correcting components because of the yellow. I'm just tapping off any extra so there's not too much. With under eye powder, you don't want a lot of powder. So just going in and just lightly dabbing the product in there. I don't know if it did anything other than settled it down. It looks less bright, less brightening. I don't know if it's color correcting necessarily. Okay, so I'm back. I finished my makeup look. For my eyes, I used the Chanel Intensité from last year. This is one of my favorite quads. I'm still working on my faves of 2022, but this is definitely in there. I love it anytime I'm wearing a burgundy or a deep red. This is like my go-to palette. It's what Chanel is. It's very classic, very elegant, subtle. I'm going to work, so I don't need like a lot of makeup on, but it's enough that it's like subtle and beautiful. And then for my mascara, I opened up a Chanel Volume de Chanel. It's one of my favorite volumizing mascaras. And then for eyeliner, for the wing, the liquid wing, I use the Surratt in brown, and then tight lined and bottom line with Chanel waterproof, Stylo Yeux waterproof in blue carbonate. This actually came out with that release last year with the Intensité. It's great. It's like a slate blue, but it's almost like, depending on what it's next to, it looks almost like a little bit gray, mauvey, plummy. It's just a really great eyeliner I've been using a lot of. And then using last two things are the Gucci blush in Warm Berry. I only actually have one, amazingly, one Chanel blush, and it's more pink. And since I'm wearing this burgundy color, this is like the perfect warm color. Just let me swatch that for you. So pigmented, a little goes a long way. And then on my lips, I'm using 209 Alter Ego in the last year, the release of all these new lipsticks, Rouge Allure 209 Alter Ego. It's become my go-to. It's like my perfect like brown burgundy color. Let me just show you this color. It's gorgeous. I love it. And I'm really loving these Chanel Allure formula, because a lot of times my pigment underneath can come through, but these are like one or two swipes and it looks really beautiful. That is the final look. And I use like Chantecaille blurring powder just to kind of tamp down the front. Setting spray today. Okay, so the concealer is looking good. Again, this is the side where I did not powder it down, and this is the side I did. So what I'm noticing is that when I did powder it down, the brightening effect happened. So what I'm going to do is, I thought the yellow might kind of like get rid of the dark circles. What I'm going to do is go into the light version of this, because I want to see if I can bring back some of that brightening, illuminating thing, luminosity that this is supposed to have. So I don't know if it's going to, but it didn't brighten it, but actually looks a little better. It doesn't look as haggard as this one. Okay, so it is around 11:30, and then I will do check-ins throughout my workday. Okay, hi beauty fam. So it's about 5:30, and it's been 6 hours since I put this makeup on. So what I'm going to do is zoom in. This eye here is the one where I didn't put any powder down, and this is the one where I did put powder down. And what I can say is that it seems to hold up better when it is powdered down. This is kind of looking a little wrecked. Tell me what you think. I mean, it looks like I have more dark circles. You can see more of the creasing. Powder, no powder. So what I think I'll do is, I think my instincts were right to powder it down. I think because I have oily lids, I think it can be a challenge. So what I'm going to do is do maybe 1 or 2 more wears to include with my review, and it will not be a first impressions. I think this might be the type of concealer that I'm kind of curious that it might be really, really good if I prep it a certain way. And I'm okay with that. Some people just want to be able to use the concealer and just not have to fuss. But even with my other concealers, I have a routine where I usually put this Chanel Gel Yeux down, and it just adds a little bit more moisturizing but not oily because this is water-based. I put this down, and then I use a corrector. And then I put usually the concealer over, and then what happens, it at least addresses the dark circle look. And then in terms of the concealer, we'll see if it actually holds up in terms of like actually the integrity of it being a concealer liquid. So this will be my last check-in of the day, but I'll do at least one more wear test. Okay, beauty fam, I'm back. This is a day 2. I usually grab my Hydra Beauty Micro Gel Yeux by Chanel, and actually what it is this is an under eye gel, and certainly you could just use this as your treatment for under eye. I actually like to use this gel as almost like an under eye primer, not for like a primer to moisturize the eyes. And I just noticed when I use this before I put my concealer on that my concealer goes on much nicer and it actually stays longer. So today I'm doing a test using this new concealer in the way that I normally treat my other concealers. The other day, I just tried it without any sort of this routine, which I usually do. Okay, and already what I have down is, actually I'm using a Dior foundation today, this Backstage Dior foundation in 3WO, which is Warm Olive. And I just didn't mix, I didn't do Chanel today because I'm doing a different video, but this is definitely going to be the Chanel Under Eye. And what I'm going to do, this concealer for me, because it doesn't have a yellowish peaches undertone, I need some color correcting. So what I'm going to do is I could do a test on each eye. I'm going to use my Live Tinted, the color Balance, which is more orangey, and then this one by Becca Cosmetics. The new owner of this, I can't remember who it is. I think it's Makeup Forever. I always forget, but there's a new owner for this. And so what I'm going to do is use both of these of eye correction. And so I'm going to do this and just use this Live Tinted under here. And I like to go in using my fingers. Just pat it down a little bit. I don't move the product all that much. And what that does, it just helps color correct any redness or purple that I have underneath my eyes. Okay, so now I'm going into the other one. And this is Becca Cosmetics Medium to Deep. And this is a new one because I can't find my other one. And I've really pretty much panned that other one. So that's what it looks like. It's definitely more light peach, but generally does a really good job of color correcting. But my under eye area has gotten like just more dark lately. Just, I don't know what it is, the season, but I have been really loving this deeper one from Live Tinted because it just addresses any sort of the darkness just more impactfully. Okay, so getting close so you can see it did something. Both of these kind of like, it's like a eye neutralizer on this side and then Live Tinted is on this side. And my theory on this was that it definitely does need some sort of eye corrector. So I'm going in with this and I'm gonna put it down because this is messy. It's beautiful packaging, but it's just, she's a mess. She's a mess. And have seen reviews of this that people do like it, but they've actually decanted this because the mechanism is just so messy. So I've used it once and you have to take this off and then put it back in, but then it's just started to spill out. That was after one use. And I can see probably like with future uses, it's just gonna get messier. And I know this because I used to use Chantecaille Future Gel Skin Foundation. And it was the same mechanism. Okay, so this corrector is $95. So it's probably not my most expensive concealer. I actually have a concealer that's even more expensive than this. And what I do love about that concealer is actually it does walk the walk and talks the talk. So I have the Sisley concealer, and this is actually more expensive. This is $118, and I have it in the shade 4. Their shade range is also abysmal. I think this only goes up to 5. So someone that's maybe a shade deeper than me might be able to use it. And I found actually using this was really, really good actually. So I'm gonna go into this area here. Let me get in so you can see. Up close and personal. So you can see how light it is. It's like a little bit too light. And then I'm using my fingers just to blend it in a little bit more. And my thinking around this was that it's too light, yes, and maybe it's okay because I tend to like my concealers a lighter so that it's brightening. And so I used this, I found this to be pretty good, and then I use my warmth of my fingers to blend it in. I tried using this application with a sponge the other day and it just did not look cute. Okay, so that is one side. The Live Tinted orange color definitely makes this more peach. That might not be a bad thing, we'll see. This is why we're testing it all day. So that is what it looks like. Let me get in close so you can see. I feel like this one being a lighter color corrector, it didn't hide as much of my under eye circles, whereas this one did. So that's something I've been looking at lately. It's like, if I'm having an okay day, I can use that other one, the lighter one, but lately it's just been not working for me all that great. And what I've done, I've actually put down a cloth and like this mechanism is like carefully placed on a rag, like a makeup wash rag, because I just don't want this to spill anywhere. Okay, so I think this side is actually looking better. It does look a little bit more orange peachy, but I'm not mad about it. And this side just looks a little bit lighter. You tell me what you think. I feel like this looks wetter, like maybe because the product of this is actually more emollient as opposed to this. This is definitely dry. So kind of preferring this side by color and texture. I definitely have thoughts on the packaging. I think it's not the greatest packaging. I kind of wish they either put it in a tube or kind of like what Sisley did. I love this packaging. I've actually traveled with this because it just seems more hygienic. It has this really nice mechanism here that's cooling. And I feel like this shade range is a little bit more peachy in undertones so that it kind of does its own color correcting. Whereas this is more like a neutral, at least for me. Pinky neutral with no color correcting. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is finish my makeup and I'll show you what it looks like at the end. There we go. I'm so smart. Okay, that's it. And I feel like, you know, when we're dealing with makeup, our fingers get emollient, so I feel like I have to wipe it down. It's beautiful packaging. It kind of mirrors the Sublimage foundation, which is similar packaging. That is really big and glass, but functionally it's not great. Okay, so I will be back after I do the rest of my makeup. Okay, beauty fam, I'm back with my makeup finally done. I actually filmed my makeup for a different video. Okay, so I'm gonna to get you in close. So I have not powdered down this concealer, and I think I'm looking a little ragged, guys. Like, yeah, I think I'm looking a little ragged. So I think what I'm gonna do is like just wash off my hands and press this a little bit. Okay, so I'm grabbing the color Light from Pat McGrath, and then grabbing my Wayne Goss squirrel hair brush and just going into this, because what I found last time I used powdered it down, I used the color yellow and it just deepened, it took away the vibrancy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm taking some of this, tapping some of it off, and seeing if that helps. Oh, that looks so much better. What do you think? Okay, I'm gonna go in and do the same thing on the other side. Back up a little bit. Okay, so I think that looks so much better. Okay, I think that looks a lot better. I just don't think I can get away with not oiling or powdering down my face because it's so oily. What I'll do is, I don't think I'm going to put any setting spray today. I just want to see how this wears. And this is how it looks when I smile, the wrinkles and all. I think it's looking pretty good. Okay, so now I know I have to use corrector and I have to powder it down. And that's not anything different than I would normally use with my other concealers. So it's not like an additional like extra step that I don't do already. So I'm fine with that. So what I'll do is do a couple check-ins and then I'll let you know how it is. Hi beauty fam, I'm back after about 5 hours. The sun has gone down. So the sun has gone down. And so I'm getting you in close. So I'm using studio lighting, but I can say this, that there's some flecks here. That's from my mascara, not anything with the Chanel. I'd have to say this is a pretty emollient concealer. So if you have oily skin, something to watch about, if even more oilier skin than me, this could be a foundation that ends up being too oily for you. So something I did notice is that the 2 times I've used them, whether it's set or not set with powder, is that I've gotten some migration of eye product here, and that usually happens when I have too oily of under eye area, even with powdering. So I noticed that that happened twice, and I just cleaned that up, but it's just like a little thing to notice. I do like the side more where I used the color corrector of Live Tinted. I think that looks even better in terms of color correcting. This isn't cutting it at this point. So I think I might have outgrown this product. I think it's just not strong enough, and I'm really enjoying this. So along with hydrating, my routine of using the gel Chanel Yeux and then using color corrector, I think, and then using this plus the corrector and then powdering it down, I think it looks really lovely. I don't know if it's like my favorite concealer. I actually don't have any other Chanel concealers in my makeup collection because I actually don't like the regular concealer that they had in the tube. I actually didn't like it so much that I actually just got rid of it because I couldn't even use it for brightening or other things in my collection. So I was not a fan of that Chanel concealer, but this is really lovely. I would say the comparison wise, I think it's not as full coverage as, say, the Pat McGrath concealers. These are like my workhorse concealers. Like when I'm having a rough day the night before, or I know I'm gonna have a really long day. Still, I think my favorite is the Pat McGrath because it's just, it hits all the marks of it. Sometimes I don't even have to color correct. It's really, really pigmented and it just works for me. It covers all my flaws and I don't have to worry about it. So these are my other concealers that I have. And I have the Sisley number 4. This is the Phyto Cernès Eclat Eye Concealer with botanical extracts. And I think this would probably be the closest product to whatever Chanel is claiming. So it's supposed to be kind of like skincare properties along with just kind of doing the job of concealing. So this is about, I think I said at $112 and this is about $95. So it's kind of around the price range. I actually think this is a better product for several reasons. It's a little bit more peachy. Let me do a comparison so you can see. And I'll dab the other one. So this is the Chanel in 40 and this is the Sisley in 4. And the Sisley one has more peachy qualities, which I appreciate because that works better in terms of, for me, like, because I have a yellow undertone, you can see this is more like a pink. It doesn't, when it's too light, it doesn't cover the darkness. So I have to work more to cover. And this one is so great. Sometimes it's similar to the Pat McGrath in that sometimes I don't have to color correct, and sometimes I'm in a rush and I just use that. I actually do see some skincare benefits under my eye after using it. So if I were to, you know, the best comparison in terms of like high-end luxury concealer products, that's what I'm thinking is Sisley, is it like the more equivalent, but I think this is a better deal. I do like the packaging because it seems more sanitary. Because it's in a tube. I've actually traveled with this. I've like thrown this in my purse and, you know, actually have used this and just dabbed it on, and it works. There is no way I'm traveling with this. It's so fussy and finicky. She's high maintenance. So what's a better deal? You know, if I've gotten this on sale, whenever Sisley has a sale, whether it's at Sisley or Nordstrom or Bergdorf or anywhere, any of the high-end luxury places will have this on sale, I go for it. I do prefer this product more, but it's still a lovely concealer. So I do like it more than my Dior Forever Skin Corrector. I actually don't really care for this. I've tried to make this work on several occasions, but you can see I'm almost done panning it. And the reason why is actually I've used this product as an all-over foundation because it's actually quite lovely, as it's really pigmented, so I don't have to use like a little goes a long way. So I've actually used this as foundation. I don't like it for concealer. So in terms of my other concealers, the Kosas I used to like. I think this is better in the summer, but it's starting to turn like it smells funny, and I think this is like supposed to be more green. It just has a funny smell, and I think it's almost like that it's turned, so I'm probably gonna get rid of that. And then I actually got this recently, the Kulfi. It's actually pretty decent, and let me do a swatch of this. It's not my favorite. I think this is like more of like a nice everyday kind of concealer. So you can see there's still more peach in there. And I use this when I kind of have like a no makeup day or like really light coverage on my foundation. I hope that's helpful. I'm definitely going to keep this. I just, what I'm really worried though over time is that this is going to get really messy. I remember seeing a YouTuber saying they were thinking about or decanting this out of this mechanism because it's just so messy. So I'm actually thinking about doing the same. I do have extra jars because I decanted the Lisa Eldridge cream blushes, which had faulty packaging, and I love these. I think these are fantastic. This is actually my favorite color along with Dante's Dream because it's hard to find really colors like this. So I have some of these. If and when I finally get through this, this is a lot. This is very pigmented. I have a hard time thinking that I'd be able to get through this in a year. And it's a 12-month expiration date. So I'm gonna have to motor and using this, which I'm gonna keep this and I'm gonna keep using it. It's lovely because I use a lot of Chanel. I do like the claims they make. I think it does look really nice. It looks like a really, just like a more of a natural coverage, even though it's too light. But yeah, I definitely, you don't need it, but if you're really into high-end concealers, it's worth a try. I just think that this is a better deal. That's all. With the packaging, the mechanism too, it's really, I love this mechanism actually. It's this cool mechanism. It's slanted, so like it's, here, I can show you. Then it's a way, it's every time I put that under my eye, it's just so cool. It's a cooling effect to help depuff. And I just love that they're just a little bit peachy yellow to hide any sort of dark circles and hide any of that. So I hope that's helpful. And that's it for my review. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please consider doing so, joining the MikiCarReBeauty fam. And as always, please be very kind to yourself and others and just be you. Until the next video, take care, beauty fam. Bye.